喂，你今日飲咗未啊？
飲 orange juice？
青紅蘿蔔豬骨湯
Coffee or tea or me？
飲橙汁？不如試下飲 Coffee Bubble Tea 啦。
Welcome and thanks for joining us today on the Coffee Bubble Tea Podcast。我係 Samson， 有 Tiff 啦，有 Colin 啦，同埋我哋嘅 guest
Nancy。Hello。
可唔可以介紹一句自己啊？
I'm friends with Tiff. We got Tiff's roommate.
Oh, okay.
I'm very excited to be here.
So we're gonna get some good story. I think it's relevant， 因為我哋今日講 home 啊嘛，即係出嚟做嘢啊，或者未結婚嗰陣時之前咧，即係有陣時有 friend 一齊住啊，或者中意 on vacation， 跟住就去咗旅行一排咁樣。嗱，如果你哋去旅行 ，Will you bring something from home?
Yeah, usually I went on a trip once and I didn't have my toothbrush. So I used one of those travel toothbrushes and I really hated it.
Oh.
So from now on, I always bring my home toothbrush, the one I regularly use, and I always have to bring my pillow as well. Otherwise, I don't know, it's just瞓得舒服啲, I think.
枕頭我都覺得係，我都要。我未試過帶枕頭去 long trip， 即係要真係搭飛機嗰啲，但係即係你話去 camping 啊，去 cottage 啊嗰啲，我都堅持要帶枕頭嘅，暫時都仲係。等我試下，我哋可以 pandemic 之後去旅行，我哋搭飛機嗰啲，等我睇下我會唔會帶啊？可能未必會，我覺得。
I'm used to bringing my toothbrush, toothpaste, body soap, shampoo, like all that. I don't, and towels and stuff, like any personal stuff. I don't really like using outside, like, stuff, I guess.
咁你哋話帶 toothbrush 啦，咁係咪即係已經好 worn out 啊？咁樣巢晒
Absolutely.
But it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels great.
Yeah. 係嘅，即係 have to break into a toothbrush 嗰個 process 係。同埋即係 hotel 啲 toothbrush 通常
夠爽嘅。
係咯。
Square.
我有冇住過一啲好靚嘅酒店？有啲我冇試過用啲好正嘅 toothbrush。如果係咁講，我會帶鬚刨。
Yes.
Yeah, and because those one from 係啦，即係酒店嗰啲鬚刨係即係 they cut you and whatever。
你帶鬚刨係因為你需要呢樣嘢，唔係因為佢令到你 feel like home 啊嘛，係嘛？
多謝你將我哋帶翻去主題度，係啦，講到遠咗，講到
我想，因為我想諗，我都會帶，但係我係純粹係因為我習慣用我自己嘅洗頭，即係咩？我唔中意用出邊其他唔知奇離怪嘅味嗰啲洗頭水，但係我又唔覺得我洗頭水令到我 feel like home。
唔係喎，但係嗱嗰陣味道咧，即係我行入廁所，嗰陣味係。即係屋企嗰個 shampoo 味咯，即係 for me. Yeah.
It's true. Because ever since I moved to Tiff's place, when I go visit my family, they like, you smell like Tiffany's house. So I think...
So hold on. Is that a good smell?
Smell Tiffany.
So what the...
Tiffany.
可能係好味嘅嘢食。
Has a specific smell.
Yeah.
So when you walk into someone's home, you're like, oh, it smells like this, it smells like that. So when I go visit my family, it's like, oh, you smell like Tiff's home. 即係好特別嘅味咯 ，yeah
特別，我哋再去另一個 side topic 啦，特別嘅味道。
特別嘅味道 ，that's another topic。不過講味道同屋企咧，嗱我細個嘅時候就住即係啲 townhouse 嗰啲咁樣啦，咁咧就只會聞到屋企裏面嘅味啦，跟住我就去朋友屋企，佢住 condo 嘅，跟住一出 lift， 哇飯味嚟㗎。即係嗰陣時 Scarborough，the entire floor is Chinese 咯，即係香港走廊嗰陣味啊咁。但係咧，跟住我而家住個 condo 咧喺 North York 嗰邊啦，出嚟咧就 depends on which day 啊，即係有 baking 啊 ，maybe Indian food， 跟住 Chinese food 咁樣 mix 埋，係啦，即係嗰個 home 唔同咗啊嗰個。
講起呢個嘢，我第一諗起我前一排發生嗰個搞笑嘢。咁我有一日搭 lift 翻上屋企，我都住 condo 啊。咁跟住翻上去，我出 lift 嗰下，我聞到一陣我未聞喺我嗰層未聞過嘅味 ，which 就係 Chinese 炒餸嗰種香味啊。因為我覺得，我未喺我嗰層聞過喎。咁好啦，咁啊冇，咁我覺得都係嗰下覺得，怪怪地咁樣啦。咁跟住之後好啦。我就翻屋企啦，咁啊行翻屋企，插條鎖匙入去門口度，扭唔開。我去錯咗另外一層，跟住我就覺得其實我嗰下應該就要 realize 到聞到嗰陣味就已經係唔係我嗰層咯。 我覺得
哦
即係你咁樣講起味道，我就記起呢個小插曲。
好拉闊少少，即係入屋企門口就 feel 到屋企啦咁樣。How far does that boundary extend？即係會唔會走廊啊，或者你 pull up to your driveway，你已經 feel 到咧？或者我記得好耐之前，we drove down to New York，跟住咧我可以見到 Toronto 個 sign 咧，哇！跟住再 pull off from 401，跟住McCowan 啊咁樣。咁樣有咁嘅感覺，你哋有冇啲除咗屋企裏面嘅嘢，有冇第咁嘅感覺嘅咧？
I think for me, it's the neighborhood. I remember the house when I was a child growing up. We had a fire station, so you always have to look at the fire station before you turn into the street. So whenever I see the fire station, I'm reminded, I'm going home. And where my family lives, there's like gates. So whenever we go into the gate, then I know, I'm going to go home. And then driving in the neighborhood 就好舒服。
Yeah.
I think it's recognizing local landmarks, local places that I've been to, like the memories come back. So it reminds me of home and where I grew up.
Where you grew up 咁即係 places you spend a lot of time, I guess.
Yeah, places that I have been to, grew up around, just childhood memories.
It's really weird. So I was born in Toronto, but when I flew back to Hong Kong, you know the old airport? When you're flying down and then you see the apartments and you can pretty much see people living. When I flew into the old airport and I saw that, I felt that as a sense of home, even though I'm not from Hong Kong at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you feel that way?
It was like maybe my heritage or going back to like feeling, because my extended family is all in Hong Kong. So my cousins, my grandfather, and I was just going back, and it felt like I'm going back to visit a place where I'm from. Well, not me from, like technically, but my family is all from there, right? And my parents all grew up there. So I felt like I'm going back to a place where I came from and where a lot of who I am is from that location. Yeah. It's very strange.
但係咁你係有見過香港啲相 I guess.
Yeah, and I visited when I was really young. I think I was probably a teenager when I flew into Hong Kong. But I went back when I was like 7 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
咁但係即係你 parents 係唔係啲會成日講起香港嘅？
都會嘅.
Okay.
My mom has very close with her family.
Okay.
So she would visit almost every year.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're very close and 佢哋會打電話。
呢樣咧，我有少即係not exactly home 啦，但係咧，如果我去一個城市，我係去 visit 一個人咧，或者我知道有個 friend 喺呢度嘅，我覺得有種 connection 多啲嘅，係啦，即係 whereas 即係我第一次，如果我第一次去係啦，我第一次去新加坡咧，我就this is where my friends from university lives 咁樣。係啦，但係去 Kyoto 嗰次，即係第一次去 Kyoto 咧，我冇咁嘅感覺嘅，我就個感覺係wow this is a cool place 咁樣。
So maybe it is the connections or the relationships that you built before that maybe leads more to like a comfort or a home feeling.
Yeah, people.
Yeah.
我諗係啊，即係屋企冇人話即係家呢個 terms 可以好大，但係亦都冇人話得一個咯，可以。即係好似呢時嘢咁樣，即係你就好明顯係兩個啦。我諗我都係啦，即係香港就即係都係成長嘅地方，即係你充滿晒你兒時嘅回憶啊，成長嘅啲 moments 啊，咁嗰個就係即係我覺得對我嚟講就嗰個就係我可以叫做屋企咯。係咁加拿大就即係自己過嚟嘅 build up 嘅一個屋企咯，我覺得係。同埋我覺得Nancy 講，我覺得有一個 terms 我彈起就係 sense of belonging， 即係你覺唔覺得你 connect 去嗰個地方，或者係嗰樣嘢你點樣去稱之為家咯
？Feel like when you say home, it's like to me, it's not just like a location or like a building or structure. It's like kind of what everyone else has already said, like where your heart feels like it's belonging. And it's like this warm, fuzzy feeling that you feel in your heart, at least for me. So it's like when I say I feel at home, it means that like my heart tells me that in this moment, I feel like I'm able to really be myself. I can rest. I can not worry about much and just be in that moment. And like when we talk about home, like these sorts of expressions come into my mind. Like when people say, I feel at home, make yourself at home. It's like a second home to me, you know, that to me tells me it's more like, it's more than just something physical. It's something like a feeling or something that you can't really touch almost.
你啱啱講呢個 make yourself at home 呢句嘢咧，我即刻諗隨便坐，令你自己覺得好似屋企咁啊咁。
好，我食個炭喺度。
即係，但係in Cantonese doesn't no one say that。可以講話當自己屋企啦咁樣。
Yeah. Say that. I'm just thinking like some people are really like depending on the person, it could mean like a good or bad thing.
Yeah, they put their foot up on the coffee table.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like, you just said make yourself at home.
Yeah.
What do I do at home? It's like, okay, never mind.
係啦 and for me， 你做乜喺梳化食薯片啊？跟住你叫我當自己屋企啊嘛。
我就喺梳化食薯片，我喺床食薯片添啊！
客氣噶啦。
我嗰陣時即係過嚟細個啲嘅時候過嚟讀書啦，咁啊每年翻香港噶嘛。我記得我有一年走嘅時候嗰個屋企，同我下一年暑假翻去嗰個屋企係兩個地方，我就真係覺得好怪嘅成個感覺，即係翻屋企啦。咁但係翻屋企，即係我以前個諗法就OK， 我翻我 A 嗰個地方啦，以前由細到大嗰個地方。但係其實我係翻 B 個地方嘅時候，跟住我又唔熟悉嗰個 area 啦。你樓下嗰啲看更叔叔我又唔識啦，跟住你搭 lift 咁樣，你成個 environment 好唔同嘅時候，所以其實嗰個地方我到而家咧都有少少係覺得，我唔知道點樣去，我唔可以話佢唔係我個家或者唔係我屋企，但係覺得好似爭啲咯。即係我諗就係因為我好細個 register 咗，就好似我 register 咗我以前屋企嘅所有嗰啲 environment 啊，嗰啲人啊。咁跟住之後，你突然間變咗之後咧，就覺得未嚟得切 register 入我個腦入邊啊，所以我一路都未 process 到成件事咯。
係，我都試過有幾年大學畢業嗰排咧，我又要搬地方啦。跟住我阿爸又喺好似喺上海做嘢，跟住阿媽喺香港又啱啱搬屋咧。跟住我都唔記得嗰陣時我阿哥係喺邊啊。咁樣咧係突然間 realize， 咦，我哋at this moment we don't have a home 咁樣，即係 we don't have a 基地，有冇一個 central place 咁樣？可能嗰陣時即係大學畢業咁冇咁嗰陣時嘅我冇咁需要呢樣嘢咯。但係而家俾我咧，我覺得呢樣嘢幾重要啊。
我覺得好 agree 其實，因為即係你講起大學咧。我曾經試過大學嘅時候咧，係2個月入邊搬咗3次地方。咁跟住之後，亦都即係嗰3次，你真係覺得點啊？咩點樣先即係嗰下你真係會諗點樣為之一個屋企咧？即係你租屋咁，即係我唔知大家點樣睇租屋啦。即係你會覺得租屋都係人哋屋企咯，其實係。即係如果你話一個 physical 咁樣睇嘅話，即係我投放唔到我嘅感情落去一間租屋嗰度，所以我覺得一路都唔知點咁樣，跟住之後咁樣同時地就係我屋企，即係我同我屋企人都係四散，到而家都係而家係四散，即係講緊我啊，我妹啦，我爸阿媽啦咁樣，我哋而家係四散3個地方，但係咧呢3個地方係冇一個包含香港冇，所以即係你都會覺得咁其實乜嘢係屋企咧？即係咩係家咧？即係我諗我都有即係喺度諗過呢樣嘢咯。即係如果 for example 咁樣，因為我爹哋媽咪而家喺台灣啦，咁樣佢哋搬咗台灣之後，我未去過嘅，即係因為咁啱 hit 咗 pandemic 啦，咁樣跟住我諗未來即係我哋要去台灣探佢哋嘅時候，咁我會唔會 call 台灣係我屋企？即係我翻台灣啊，定係即係你翻香港就好正常，翻香港啊咁樣，因為。即係我諗大部分人即係好似你咁嗰個 base 喺香港啦，即係啲 extended family 喺香港。但係我會而家我呢一刻我都唔知我會唔會講我翻台灣咯，即係 我覺得都係好奇怪對我嚟講係。但係我去台灣俾我感覺就去旅行，但我又唔係去旅行喎，因為我 family 喺嗰度喎，所以我覺得係幾特別嘅一樣嘢。
可能你即係頭先阿 Nancy 話佢即係去香港有嗰種感覺啦，你有冇噶？我都知你好似翻過幾次噶嘛，或者
Yeah, 我都翻過幾次 but I don't think when I went back, I had that kind of a strong feeling. Maybe because like I really don't have that much connections with my extended family over there. I know they exist and they're alive. I see their posts on Facebook every now and then, but we don't really have regular interactions. So it's hard to kind of feel like it's like my home, even though I know it is my home and I have like citizenship and stuff like that. But I would probably need to marinate myself in that environment to be able to really call it like my second home, I guess.
marinate 呢個字好正啊，醃下有翻種味道，
Yeah,
醃
yeah.
完正啲咁。
即係我呢陣時喺我屋企醃咗我陣味。
Like when I'm hearing everyone talking about, you know, like whether you can call it your home because you may not have grown up there and everything, it kind of reminds me of like the movie, if you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy, I guess, gets sucked into some tornado and then sent to some like alternate dimension with weird creatures and people. And at the end of the movie, she's tapping her ruby shoes to basically say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. So when I think of that, it's like, where exactly is home if you move so much, I guess. So it kind of goes back to like my original thinking that, you know, maybe our homes aren't necessarily tied to one place, but maybe like where our memories are created, where our friends are, where our loved ones are. That is really more of what I would define as a home, I guess.
係啦，即係我之前我都 share 過啦，我都搬咗好多次啊，近呢幾年。即係我細個喺啲多倫多嘅時候咧，我諗可能太細咧，冇特別去 consciously 諗係咪 home 啊定係點。但係一翻到香港，有陣時覺得啊，幾時翻加拿大咧？係咯，即係又翻香港又翻加拿大咁。係啦，咁所以過翻嚟加拿大咧，即係我啦，其實唔止我啊，即係都知道好多啱啱過嚟嘅朋友咧，即係都係住喺一係 homestay， 一係就 homestay 住完一陣出嚟租一啲 temporary 啲嘅地方啊，或者有啲 friend 係即係過2個月就要搬一次啊。
Yeah, in our conversation, I'm thinking about what is permanent and what is temporary. Like, I feel like maybe the houses that we live in might be temporary because it depends on your family situation. Like, my parents moved from a house to a smaller house to downsize when the kids, like me and my sisters, left the house or went to university. So is the physical building temporary maybe? And then the relationships or the friendships, that's more of a permanent thing. And now I realize a lot of my family's all over the place now. I have a sister in China. I have another sister in Cambodia. So it's like, so if your family is so dispersed like Tiffany as well, then what does that mean for your home, right? Like, can you be like Dorothy and be like, oh, there's no place like home. Is that a physical location? Or it might be more of the people and where they are. So yeah, I was just thinking about what is permanent and what is temporary.
都係，同埋我覺得係。即係 home 對我嚟講 ，it doesn't matter where it is。即係我覺得係你點樣去有嗰個 relationship with 嗰個環境同埋嗰個人，同埋你嘅所有嘅memories 啊，你做嘅所有嘢咯。即係亦都唔關係，我都覺得唔關係喺嗰度幾耐咯。即係我覺得即係 home 其實真係好似我哋之前有傾過嘅 friendship 咁樣，都覺得其實就係好大啦呢個 terms， 即係你每個人嘅 definition 或者你每個人對呢個 terms 嘅 understanding 都真係好唔同咯。
I think there are physical places that can have the home feeling. So for example, Edwards Garden in Toronto is nowhere near where we live, but whenever we have friends visit, we'll always go there because it's so pretty, especially in the summertime. So, and then my family will just go there like when I was young, just to walk around. So So it is a physical location. It's unique to Toronto, and it's like a tourist destination as well, I think. But that also helps me recall what is home. So
係啦，即係當一個人成日搬嚟搬去嘅時候，即係嗰個 home as a physical location，即係 out of the question 啦。They don't have that choice anymore, but then they would build the sense of home from people or from places they can still go no matter what. And this reminds me， 我記得嗰陣時係一間茶餐廳嚟嘅，係啦，即係喺呢頭嘅其實，不過唔係新近啲嗰間，遠少嗰間 anyways，其實早幾日好搞笑啊！嗰日夾完歌之後，去間嘢食，跟住點解個老細咁熟口面？跟住原來就係30年前喺我 high school 隔離嗰間嘢個老細。
You remembered?
And he looks the same.
Wow.
And 跟住佢話我唔會認得你哋㗎啦，因為你哋個個學生嚟都話識我咁樣。咁樣 Yeah, but
因為識我攞折頭咁樣。
Exactly.
Yeah, but 即係一個做生意嘅人，佢就變咗呢一種好 stable 嘅 figure，and people see him and they think of 即係可能我哋要揾第二集嚟講 high school 啊，嗰啲 home 添啊，即係嗰啲有好多 memory 同 experience 啊。不如 looking forward 啦 ，Nancy 我知道你就嚟搬屋啊，嗬。
yes, that's right.
So how are you going to make that place your home?
That's a really good question. So I'll be moving to London, Ontario for work pretty soon. I don't really know yet. I think it's mainly for work. So my mindset is not really I'm going to move there forever. I think there's always a what's it called? Hello to come back to Toronto if I need to. But the first place is like I was really picky about which place I want to live in. Because I want it to be comfortable. I want it to be something that I can rest after going from work, like after working. And I think the second thing that I'm thinking about is community and friendship. So I have a few friends, like kind of acquaintances that are in London. So I'm kind of thinking about how to get connected again. But mainly as a Christian, I think there's church community that my older sister went to London actually for school. So she was part of a church. And she really liked it. And so she felt very comfortable there. So I want to start there as maybe a place to know people or at least get some friends.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say because I haven't lived there before.
So 你枕頭搬咗去未啊？
未啊。
你到時揸入去嗰次就
攬住佢一齊。
Okay.
It's just a day trip, so it's just like
OK 2個半鐘。
我未需要枕頭咯。
係 OK 咁樣咧就係啦。Well, we wish you well。不過你可以其實你隨時出翻嚟2日
眨下眼就過啦。
Because of pandemic, a lot of the social gatherings are online. 即係可能 Zoom call or like 打電話 people are more comfortable doing that. So I feel like I'll still be able to maintain friendships even though like physically 就可能難啲。
咁我哋都可以揾你錄一次啦，啲 Zoom 咁樣。
Yeah.
下次再傾多啲啦。頭先阿 Colin 講話 There's no place like home 呢句 Wizard of Oz 中文係咩啊？
哎呀，咩仙境啊？
乜仙？
愛麗絲夢遊仙境。
唔係嗰個 Alice in Wonderland， 係咪綠野仙蹤啊？
綠野仙蹤係綠野仙蹤。
Okay, so 係啦，即係我覺得呢啲 classic 咧 ，they are classic because they have something really there is something that grabs us really well 咁樣。頭先講到係人啦，係地方啦，同埋頭先講下咧，我留意到一樣嘢係，即係你想喺嗰個所謂 home 嘅地方有啲乜嘢 relationship 咧？有啲人係想落街有嘢就覺得係屋企啦，有啲人覺得係行出去有棵樹就係屋企啊咁。即係有啲老土啊，我都鼓勵大家聽眾揾下自己咩覺得係屋企咧。
I know we didn't talk about this, but food, music,
係喎。
those things to me bring a sense of home, especially if you have your parents, 煲湯 and then you have that sense of going back home. It's like a home cooked meal, that kind of thing. Right?
Home cooked meal 呢個留翻留另外一集啊。Yeah. 係啊 ，smell 係喎。其實我哋一開頭都講到 smell。咁樣阿 Nancy 使唔使喺阿 Tiff 嗰度攞啲嘢去你新嘅屋企咧？咁樣煲湯。
攞到啲香水啊，攞開
洗頭水咁樣。係啦，我諗我哋點樣令到一個地方更加有屋企嘅感覺咧？即係終於都翻嚟屋企啦，咁樣。都即係我都想大家放工放學翻到屋企係有嗰種舒服嘅感覺嘅。咁好啦，今日傾到呢度啦，
拜拜。
美主啊 ，Thanks again for joining us today. Visit us on Instagram and like us too. Remember, ask questions, leave feedback, offer suggestions. We value your input. So if you're listening through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, whichever you're listening to, remember to subscribe and follow us. And actually, we have a YouTube channel, which show it's actually just a picture and the audio. 咁咧，但係嗰度咧係留言方便啲嘅，咁我哋好歡迎。咁樣咧就好啦，下次再傾啦，拜拜。
拜拜。